And I said, that guy just shot up the Baptist church. We need to stop him.
That Texas hero walks us through where he was and when he exchanged gunfire with a suspected Sutherland Springs shooter.
A local church member speaks out after the tragedy, and he says what area churches can do to keep congregations safe.
And new information in a Johnson County woman's death, why the sheriff says it could take more time to figure out how she died.
And keeping up with today's apps and websites can be time consuming. How to make sure that you're savvy enough to help keep your teenagers safe online.
Live, local, late breaking. This is 4029 News at 6.
New tonight, we're learning more about the 26 victims killed in a church in Sutherland Springs, Texas on Sunday. Thanks for joining us. I'm Paige Proisey.
And I'm Craig Cannon. We bring you team coverage tonight. 4029's Joshua Cole is in Sutherland Springs with an exclusive interview. Taylor Pinnell will join us from a church in Rogers, all in an effort to better understand what happened. Now, the victims range in age from 18 months to 77 years old. Of the 20 victims injured in the shooting, officials say 6 are in stable condition and they've been released from the hospital. 4 are in serious condition, 10 are in critical condition.
A brave neighbor who lives near the church was able to get to the scene in time to meet face to face with the suspect. In fact, take a look at the map here. You can see where the tragedy happened in Sutherland Springs, right outside of San Antonio.
And that hero talked today exclusively to 4029's Joshua Cole. He joins us now live from the church tonight. Joshua?
Hi there, everybody. Yeah, we are just down the street from that Baptist church in Sutherland Springs. I'm going to step out of the way and show you exactly where we're at. Behind me here in the distance, you can see a yellow tent. That is where the FBI and other law enforcement have set up the perimeter for this crime scene. The church is just behind that. In front of that yellow tent, you can see a black truck there in the distance, and you might be able to see the tail end of a red car. Now, that is where Stephen Williford, the man that we spoke with, was able to get to and exchange gunfire with the shooter, with the gunman inside that was inside of that church, and eventually help in stopping him. Now, for me, this is a very personal story. I know Mr. Williford from growing up, and he says that he just is thinking of the community in all of this, and tonight he took us exclusively there to the crime scene where he exchanged gunfire.
My house is down on the corner over there, right past that sign. I could hear the shots, pop, 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 pop.
But from you can't even really see him yet. You're rounding your corner up here to get closer to see what's going on.
Barefooted.
Barefoot. What's in that moment? What's going through your mind before you can even really do anything?
All I'm thinking is I've got to get there. I've got to stop what's happening. I've got to get there. That's the truck I was standing behind. And then when he saw me, of course, he reacted to me. And I guess I don't think he expected to see any resistance. He saw me and we exchanged gunfire.
And that's where that bullet hole from right up there came.
That's this car has a bullet hole in the window. He was shooting at me, and there's one in the house too. And one in the house over here.
Could you see people?
No, I did not at this point. At this point, I did not. For all I knew,
focus was on him.
And he shot across the street into these neighbors' homes that are here. I saw his side, and that's what I shot for. I don't know that's where I hit him, but I knew that that would be where that tactical gear did not cover. And then when he got in, he shot twice more through the window.
So he's in the car right now.
He's in the car, and then he pulled up and he turned down there, and I made one last shot at him as he was driving off.
And where was Johnny in all of this?
He was at, see that stop sign right over there?
Right.
He was parked right there through the whole thing.
This is your community.
This is my town.
This is your home.
This is my home.
Protect it.
This is my home. I was scared, like you can't even imagine. I was scared.
Yeah.
But I knew something had to happen because I love those people there. I know I love the people that are in there, and I still don't know who lost their lives. but I'm sure that some of them are my friends. I'm sure some of them are my friends.
Now, we were able to get to that portion of the crime scene thanks to some of the property owners that are just across the street from the church, and they say that in that moment they were thankful, even scared for Mr. Williford to be able to go out there showing that bravery and be able to help and assist in stopping that gunman. Now, Mr. Williford says that he does not consider himself a hero at all. Right now, he is just asking everyone around the world and the country for prayers for this small community. We're live tonight in Sutherland Springs, Texas. I'm Joshua Cole, 4029 News.
Okay, Joshua. Well, church security is a top concern tonight across the country.
4029 Taylor Pinnell spoke to one local church about what's being done to keep you safe. Taylor?
When I arrived at Cross Church at Pinnacle Hills in Rogers today, I was greeted by a sign requiring me to buzz in. And that's just one effort that Cross Church takes in order to keep its congregation safe. When you visit one of the Cross Church campuses on Sundays, you will be greeted by church members, but also the presence of officers and security cameras. That is just part of the plan that continues to get visited by the security team at Cross Church.
We're constantly in that conversation, constantly revamping policies, procedures, practicing, making sure that we're ready as anybody can be for when you have large groups of people. We try to be as ready as we can be, and so it's an ongoing conversation. Obviously, the conversation is probably heightened after yesterday.
Officers that are in uniform and armed on the church campuses are local law enforcement who are off duty and are hired by the church to protect members if needed as part of the security team.
If something does happen, heaven forbid, that there's somebody to respond immediately. So you're not waiting on people to arrive. They're there on site, and they can assess the situation. They can take action, and that is probably one of the most important things to us.
Dunaway says that it's not about the size of the church or amount of resources that matters the most when it comes to taking security precautions, because tragedies like the one in Texas can occur anywhere.
This can happen to 10 people, that can happen to 10,000 people, and there's not necessarily any safety net around any of us. And so resources might play into it, but also I think just an awareness is one of the biggest things.
Now, Dunaway did not want to discuss any specific emergency plans, but did say that it's an ongoing discussion of crossing your T's and dotting your I's. Reporting live in Rogers, Taylor Pinnell, 4029 News.
Okay, the church director says that the amount of security at each of the campuses does depend on the amount of people they expect. And of course, we're going to have more of that exclusive interview Joshua Cole brought us tonight on 4029 News at 9 on the CW and at 10 right here on 4029.
Also, for the latest on the deadly church shooting, you can find live updates on our 4029 News app. It's free to download on Google Play and your Apple App Store.
Well, some of us saw storms this morning, and it's still pretty wet outside if you go out there.
Maybe even some hail today. Chief Meteorologist Darby Bobby here now to tell us more.
Yeah, there were a few folks who did see that hail. In fact, take a look at this. In Alma, we got this picture from Karen. One of the craziest looking hailstones I've ever seen. Pretty cool stuff right there. You know, hail, it can build in different shapes, and certainly got that today. Got some quarter-size hailstones out there. Most of them dime nickel from the pictures she sent me, but incredible stuff. From Ozark, Alma, of course, Van Buren out toward Clarksville, we saw this really just a couple storms, kind of a narrow swath develop right over the Van Buren-Fort Smith area, just north of Fort Smith, move across the River Valley down I-40, and now it's well off to the east of us, and behind it, a few sprinkles, a little bit of fog, certainly. Take a look at the visibility, pretty low in a lot of areas, 1 to a mile and a half between Springdale and Fayetteville. Most of the rest of northwest Arkansas, not too bad in terms of the fog, but 2.5 miles in Fort Smith. Had a lot of fog earlier this afternoon in Van Buren, and we're going to see more of that tomorrow. The sun, it'll return later this week. We'll tell you more about that coming up.
A local teenager killed today in a wreck near Pea Ridge. Police say that 18-year-old Amber Calberlo of Pea Ridge was driving east on Highway 72 around 9 this morning when she crossed the center line and hit a Jeep Wrangler driven by a 49-year-old woman from Pea Ridge. Calberlo, a graduate of Pea Ridge High School, was killed in the wreck. The other driver was taken to Mercy Hospital to be treated for her injuries.
A Johnson County woman's death is a mystery tonight after her cause of death is released. The medical examiner says it was blunt force trauma, but the sheriff's still not ruling out an animal attack. Now, some saying vicious dogs in the area could be to blame. Now, 4029's Brett Rains tells us about 2 dogs that were shot and killed by a farmer not far from where the woman died in a separate incident.
The Johnson County Sheriff tells me that a farmer from here in Hartman shot and killed 2 vicious pit bulls who were attacking his horse. It happened 2 miles from where 75-year-old Sharon Lindeman was found dead in her driveway. It happened Sunday morning, not far from Hartman City Hall.
We got a call from an individual that lives there on Main Street in Hartman that reported that his horse had been killed by 2 pit bulldogs.
The sheriff says it's too soon to tell if it's related to Sharon Lindeman's death. Preliminary results from the medical examiner show Lindeman died from blunt force trauma to the head and from penetrating injuries. The sheriff says the trauma could have happened when Lindeman fell to the ground outside her home, but the sheriff says the gashes to her arms and legs were not self-inflicted.
There was penetration all the way down to the bone in some areas.
The sheriff says the medical examiner ruled that Lindeman was down in her driveway 4 to 6 hours before she was found by her sister just after 4 last Tuesday afternoon. The sheriff tells me it could take weeks until he gets the full report from the medical examiner's office, but he says as of right now, he does not believe that Lindeman's injuries were caused by person. In Hartman, Brett Rains, 4029 News.
The Hartman mayor tells us that another woman may have been attacked by pit bull last week. The sheriff was not able to confirm that attack. Well, from apps to Snapchats, there's a lot going on for your teen in the digital world.
Yeah, we'll tell you what apps are hot and how to keep your teen safely connected. But first, a live look at traffic tonight. This is from our Embassy Suites camera there in Rogers. It is dark outside early. We're going to have a check your traffic when we come back.
Live, local, late breaking. You're watching 4029 News at 6 with Paige Boise, Craig Cannon, Chief Meteorologist Darby Bybee, and Sports Director Mitch Roberts.
Live look at traffic from our RDOT camera. This is in Lowell. A look at the Get Ready traffic map will show you some of that slow traffic on this dark Monday night already. A little slowdown here southbound through the Lowell area. A little southbound traffic there in between Johnson and Fayetteville as well. See the red popping up at times. Very slow going. Be careful.
Yeah, certainly the fog could be the primary point of concern for anyone getting out and about on the roads this evening. So something to watch out for, certainly, those low clouds and those areas of fog. Temperatures looking a little cool for sure. 51 Rogers, 54 in Fayetteville. Got the same number in Sallisaw right now, upper 50s in Fort Smith. Got a few upper 40s too in Gravette. That cooler air, the much cooler air, not too far off to the north and west. Up toward Miami right now, we're in the low 40s. So that cooler air kind of slowly getting a little closer inch by inch toward us, but still pretty cool for us. Low 50s for most of us in northwest Arkansas, mid and upper 50s right now in the River Valley. A live look out there right now. That shows those low clouds from our Chancellor Hotel camera in Fayetteville, and we certainly did have a little bit of that fog throughout the day. More of that on the way for tomorrow, but there's also sunshine in the forecast. We'll tell you more about that tomorrow.
Welcome back to 4029 News at 6. Well, what's hot in the world of social media and apps changes almost daily. So how can you keep up to keep tabs on your teens?
Yeah, new tonight, 4029's Allison Wise learns about teens by talking to one.
Sabrina Puang is a senior at Rogers High School. Like other teens, she also uses her phone a lot.
I use a lot of Instagram and Snapchat, and I also used Twitter for a little bit, but I'm kind of off Twitter now. I use Facebook, but only for like family type stuff.
Social media experts say teens are looking for a space of their own.
Everybody's always trying to like find a space to be real.
New apps come out every day. It can be challenging for parents to keep up with what your kids are using.
On their Snapchat story, and it's just like, oh yeah, it'll just go away after a little bit. And yeah, people have gotten in trouble because people have screenshotted it, but that doesn't stop people from doing it.
And it's not just what they're downloading, it's what they're saying.
This is my...
Tara Elzer, a counselor with Rogers Schools, says one of the popular apps that could pose a problem for teens is Ask FM. It's a social media app available in nearly 50 languages. that allows users to ask and answer questions anonymously.
If it's someone that's anonymous or it can come across or somebody can ask, then delete it.
Serena says her social media is full of photos and videos, and she's smart about what she says and what she shares. But she knows others who don't follow those same rules.
I think once you do a little bit of something, then it opens up the avenue to do it more and to like more extreme levels. Just like if you can get somebody to make a little commitment, you can get them to make a larger commitment further down the line.
Experts at ConnectSafely.org, a nonprofit for parents and teens, offer this advice for posting. Don't take questionable photos of yourself. Don't take or send a photo of yourself under pressure. Tell police or a parent if a person you don't know asks for a picture of you. If you get a sexting photo sent to you, talk to a trusted adult. School counselors say it can be difficult to find the right balance of allowing your kids to be independent and exploring online.
The idea, so many students, the idea and adults, that putting the phone down or turning it off is absolutely just not going to happen.
Allison Wise, 4029 News.
Very interesting. Now, there's a part of the internet you may not know about, and that could be dangerous for your children.
Yeah, a small part of the dark web is used for illegal activity, including buying and selling drugs. Tonight at 10, we talked to a local mom who found out about this world too late. And in just a few minutes, you can join us now live on Facebook for a chat about teenagers using social media and the dark web. We have a detective with the Benton County Sheriff's Department taking your questions with 4029's Allison Wise. Just search our Facebook page on 4029 News. Well, we've been seeing some light rain out there tonight, certainly impacting our roads.
How long will it stick around? Let's go back to Darby now for the answer.
Yeah, those sprinkles, the light rain showers, we're going to have more of that tonight, kind of off and on, a little bit of mist every once in a while. Same thing as we go into tomorrow. Now, later in the week, this is all going to change, that fog, those sprinkles, and we will see the sun come back. Of course, this weekend we saw record high temperatures, but a different day today. Take a look at this from our Morton Family Dentistry camera. After a brief thunderstorm early this morning with that hail, the fog really moved in, you know, at ground level in Van Buren. It wasn't quite as bad, but as we went up just a few hundred feet in elevation toward the Rudy area, Chester as well, and north of Mountainburg, we had some very thick fog. So depending on where you were at, what elevation you were at, you had that fog today and still have it. There right now, temperature is really cold off to the north. My goodness, temperatures in the 20s and 30s. We had some snow off toward north, a lot of cold air behind this system, and it's been slowly, kind of gradually moving south over the last 24 hours. A far cry from our weekend for sure. We've still got some snow showers up in South Dakota, parts of Wyoming right now. The storms that we had briefly this morning in the River Valley, they moved off to the east. Behind it, well, again, a few clouds, a few sprinkles. That's about it for us tonight. Temperatures dropping in the 40s. The fog, that's the primary concern. Watch out for that thick fog tonight. And really throughout the day tomorrow, still could have some fog, a few spotty sprinkles, a lot of clouds. Temperatures in the 50s, a hair cooler than it was today, but really not too terribly different tomorrow with all those clouds. As we go into Wednesday morning, start to see some drier air begin to push in. As that happens, we actually could see a little bit of sunshine later in the day on Wednesday, especially in northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of clouds. I'm not sure about our in-house model bringing in sun this early, but in fact, I'd say there probably still could be some showers in the River Valley, especially south of Fort Smith on Wednesday. But the bottom line is for Wednesday, we've dropped our rain chances a little bit, now down to just 20% for us on Wednesday. Still a cool day with some clouds, but definitely not as wet. Thursday and Friday, a lot of sunshine. Temperatures start coming back up. Lows in the 30s, highs in the 50s and 60s, feeling like November. Veterans Day into the weekend, a few spotty showers out there. Next week right now looks like it's going to start off on a dry note with temperatures in the 60s. So more November-like pattern for us compared to the summer weather that we had, or at least it felt like summer, over the weekend. Same thing for us in the River Valley. Temperatures in the 50s and 60s for highs. Cool the next couple days before we see that sunshine come back out. Just a slight chance of rain for the weekend with a quick moving cold front moving in. Let's go ahead and take a look at our 4-degree guarantee. Of course, we were forecasting for Springdale for Saturday, and we were with 1 degree, so we're giving away another umbrella, and this one's going to go to Sally Swanson of Bella Vista. Sally, we got that umbrella coming in the mail to you as soon as possible. Tomorrow we're forecasting for Alma, high at 57 degrees. Tune in tomorrow night to find out if we were accurate.
Well, it's a big game for the Hogs this week at LSU, but you know, we still don't know who the starting quarterback will be. 42's Reese Miller here to explain. Hi, Reese.
That's right, Paige. Brett Bielema told us today Austin Allen is 100% ready and was expected to play last Saturday against Coastal Carolina for the 4th straight week. However, number 8 did not see the field. Now, before the season, everyone knew Allen was the guy while Cole Kelly was fighting it out for the backup job. Now, Kelly has started the last 4 games, and Coach B said he will not announce who will start this week in Death Valley. It's got to be a frustrating, tough spot for the senior Allen, but even though he didn't play on the field Saturday, he's still been a great teammate with the clipboard.
There probably was not a better guy on the sidelines from not only working with Cole. I saw Austin step in when maybe we had a drop, and he talked to the guys about making plays on critical downs. So his leadership skills have been outstanding, and his desire to win. I think a lot of kids in those situations would maybe turn the other way or not be as engaged in the game. It just shows the competitive spirit he has.
All right, LSU this Saturday at 11, but check out some of the baseball schedule was released today, and check out some of these notable teams coming to Baum Stadium. You got USC, Texas, South Carolina, Missouri State, Texas Tech, and Texas A&M, all huge, big-time opponents. Get your tickets now because it's going to be some good one. How about we go from the Hogs to high schools now? The regular season has come to an end, meaning the postseason begins this week. Many teams in the area have a real shot at making a run to Little Rock and playing for a state title. Bentonville topped Bentonville West last week for the first overall seed in our game of the week, but 6, 7, 8 teams in Northwest Arkansas are headed for the playoffs, not to mention favorites like Greenwood in 6A, Pea Ridge, Prairie Grove having a shot to win it all at the 4A level. So here's a look at the 7A bracket as we head into the playoffs beginning this Friday. Top half, you got Bentonville and Bryde get a bye this week. Southside headed to Fayetteville. Springdale traveling out to Cabot. Here's the bottom half. It is Bentonville West, North Little Rock with the first-round byes, Harbor hosting Fort Smith Northside, and Rogers sneaking in and traveling to Conway. And as the Razorback football season winds down, many of you may be tired of hearing about it at this point, but men's basketball opens its regular season Friday against Sanford. Sounds like an easy win, but then again after Saturday, maybe we shouldn't assume any game will be easy. Back with more after this.
Oh, this half hour has gone by fast.
I know.
Thanks for joining us, folks. For news, weather, sports, anytime, just click on 4029tv.com.
That's right. We have more for you on the Arkansas CW at 9 o'clock, or meet us right back here at 10. Have a great night, everybody.